Hi everybody, so in this video we're going to talk about our notations. The big ones that you're going to need to know for this unit is talking about points, lines, line segments, rays, angles, and a plane. So remember, a point is just the singular point, and it would be labeled with a letter such as A. When you're talking about the point A, you can just say point A. And that's all you need to know for points. For lines, remember that they extend infinitely in both directions. So we have arrows in both directions. When we're talking about labeling them, we would label them either with 2 points like this, let's say X and Y, or you could also have a line that is lettered with a lowercase cursive letter like L. So when we're talking about these lines for notation, we would want to see X, Y with 2 arrows above it like that. We can also reverse the order of your letters and it's still correct. Or in that other example where we had the line labeled with a lowercase capital letter, we would say line L. And that's where you have what you have for notations for lines. Line segment, so kind of like a line, but it's only a part of a line. Therefore, we have endpoints that don't continue. So I'm going to name this one ST. Similar to the line notation, we can have ST or TS. Making sure that we don't put arrows on these ones because the line segment does not continue on forever and ever. So it is just like that little dash above both letters. Next one we have is array. Remember, array has one endpoint and the other end goes on infinitely. Now it would go infinitely through some other point, and let's call this one QR. So we've got array that's now going to be labeled as QR with one arrow on that side. Remembering that the arrow has to go through the side where the arrow is going through, as you see it in the diagram. We can switch up the letters, saying RQ, as long as your arrow is still going through the R, because that's where the arrow is going through on our array. For our angle, we have a few different ways that we can label this. So let's start with our 3 letters. This is the most accurate way for us to label and notate angles. So let's call this one D, E, and F. So we've got angle D, E, F. Or we could flip it around and say F, E, D. As long as the middle letter on my notation, E, is being notated by the vertice of my angle. Now, I was saying how we can notate an angle several different ways. We can use the 3 letters, and you're especially going to want to use this if that angle is being cut up into many different pieces. You want to be able to tell me exactly which piece you're talking about. But in this example, where we have just one angle, and it's very clear to see which angle we're talking about for right here. You could also call it angle E. Okay, and that's only if it's not being cut up into other types of angles. For example, if I were to have something like this, let's label these. Let's say W, X, Y, Z, and A. So in this case, if I were trying to refer to this angle up here, it's not enough to just say angle A, because angle A could also be here, or here, or here. In this case, I can only say either WAY or YAW. Has to be those three letters. Angles could also be notated and labeled with numbers. So if you ever see a number within an angle, for example, if I put the number 3 here, that means I'm talking about this angle here being as angle 3, and we could just say angle 3. All right. Last one is a plane. Plane, in this case that we're talking about, is a 2D flat space, kind of like a piece of paper. And the way that you would label a plane is with a capital cursive letter. So let's make it capital S. Okay, that would be a plane. All right, and so that is all the notations that we'll be covering for this unit. Make sure you familiarize yourself with it, and let me know if you have any other questions.